Hi there, Baroness Jenny here for the Baron's Party Paints, and I am really excited to talk about this one. For starters, it is a female goblin rogue. No, it isn't that one. It's a female goblin rogue. I believe she's a deep cuts one, because I really love their cute giant-headed goblin models. They, to me, are so goddamn cute. And I'm really excited because I get to talk about all of my new favourite colours for my paints. This is Vermin, the goblin who lives in the town in the one-on-one session. I really need to stop talking about this one-on-one session because it's never going to be available online. This one-on-one session that my husband runs so we can test run stuff. She lives as a hunter, trapper, that sort of thing, with her two companions, Ecaflip the Hobgoblin and Smokey the Bugbear. Vermin is a sophisticated, civilised goblin lady about town, and therefore I thought the first thing that's happening is she is not just going to be dressed in greys and browns and various tanned leathers. So I thought, you know what, I want to use my pretty pink paints, which I did buy very specifically for another mini, but screw it, I'm going to use them on everything that I can physically get them on. And to be honest, it kind of makes sense, and I really like this as an option actually, because it occurred to me another figure who lives in that same town is Peg, and Peg obviously has a pink dress. So wouldn't it make sense, if this is a small town, that she just orders a big bolt of this particular colour and then gets the local tailor to make up her outfits? Well, speaking as someone who's worked with fabrics, you will inevitably have a huge amount left over from any given bolt. More than enough to make a few outfits for a little goblin, certainly. So, Vermin, her skin tone is moot green, which is that lovely lurid lime green, which I really like and want. She's pretty much my favourite figure because she's got all my favourite colours on her, let's be honest here. Her little pink dress this is a new one, it's Fulgrim pink, and it's so pretty. It's that lovely cherry blossom pink. And her cape and hooded thing, that is Emperor's Children pink, with a small coating of volupus pink just over the top to give it a little bit of a darker shade. And I think I did 2 coats of volupus. Yeah, there's 2 coats of volupus pink on the inner lining of her cape, just to make it look a bit more shadowed and nuanced. All the yellow bits on her are Avaland Sunset, which I didn't do anything to because yellow and pink look so pretty together. I'm actually really ridiculously proud with how her torch came out in this. That is Blood for the Blood God with a wash of Retributor armour on it. And I'm really genuinely pleased. I think I finally got the knack for doing fire now, because that, to me, looks ideal as like a flame. And what can I tell you about Vermin? Other than she was so much fun to paint and she's sophisticated. I can tell you she's part of the town book club, and they know she must have liked a book if she didn't eat the entirety of it. She is sophisticated, but she's also a very hungry girl. Oh, and actually one other thing that's happened as a result of a dungeon run I did with, I can't even remember who went in with me, but my husband's been trying to practice running horde battles where he basically sends up thousands of enemies against us that all of them can be killed with one hit, usually 2 or 3 with one hit. It's just fun to run them. It's good if you just need a bit of an ego boost. And he sent us up against a whole horde of goblins. I genuinely can't remember who else was in that run with me. What I can remember is that we were killing the goblins left, right and centre, turning them into a fine pink paste. I'd already said to the rest of the party, in the name of God, we can never tell Vermin about this. But we got it down to about 18 left of, I think it was 200. 18 goblins left. And this was the point where my husband said, you know what, hang on a minute, and he rolled a morale save for them, and they all failed. So they promptly turned and screamed that they were getting the hell out of here, and they just legged it. I thought that was the end of it, until about 2 sessions later, where it was mentioned that, oh yeah, by the way, Vermin has become a boss gob. She's a boss gob because 18 goblins turned up in town out of nowhere. All talking about how their horde was attacked by monsters. Whoops. So we're not mentioning that, and fortunately my husband runs this thing where the more of a certain enemy type there are, the stupider they get. He basically has this idea that the bigger a horde is only ever as smart as its stupidest member. Which is fine, because now these 18 goblins don't really remember who was attacking them, only that they were being attacked and they ran away. So hopefully that's not going to come back and bite me in the ass. And if it is, at least I know I can turn them into a fine pink paste. Okay, right. I think that was everything I needed to tell you about Vermin. Oh, actually, there's one little thing I do want to talk about. I kind of want to campaign for prettier minis. And not pretty. I don't mean like people should manufacture prettier minis. I mean, it seems quite limiting to be going, oh, these must be realistic and dark and grim. Now, that's fine if that's your aesthetic, if that's what you want for your campaign, but me personally, I'm thinking, this is fantasy. And if I wanted grimdark, I could go outside. Instead, why don't we paint up our minis with all these beautiful, bright, vibrant colours? I know a few people do online and I really deeply admire their work, and frankly I just want to start a little bit of a campaign for let's have pretty monsters. Screw it. Paint up your mini in bright purple if you like bright purple. This is fantasy, for goodness sake. You don't have to be thinking, oh, they wouldn't have purple dye back then, would they? It's a timeline that doesn't exist. Screw it. Do whatever colours you like. I want that to be honest, I really partly want to do this because I want Citadel Miniatures to start bringing out things like iridescent paints and such. I like pretty minis. Okay, so this is me campaigning for prettier paints on your minis, and don't be limited by thinking it's got to be Game of Thrones or like grim, dark, and no colour at all. Okay, I think that was everything I needed to say. So I'll talk to you guys later, probably about more minis. Bye.